Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody slept good last night. It's about 10 minutes to 8 on Tuesday morning, and it's Eastern time, that is. I'm on Eastern time. Uh, Last night was pretty good trading if you stayed up and traded any at all. So we're going to show what the angular indicator did last night, just so that you will know. And if I can find it here. There we go. So I've got this on the sim mode in case I accidentally hit anything. I took it off my live account, but on this one, it's starting at, well, actually, we'll just do overnight hours altogether. So we started last night at 1800 hours right here. That's the beginning of last night's session. So what we've done yesterday was we looked for $500 a contract per trade on NQ. And sometimes you'll get that. Well, most of the time you'll get that, and sometimes you won't. But on this one, the trade was already started here. So really your first entry would be here. Your stop would have been here. So you wouldn't have got stopped out there. So the most that you could have got $650. So you would have got your $500 there. This one, you would have come back and got stopped out for a loss of 205 because it did not go up. However, you would have come back down here and you would have got your $500 again. You'd actually got a lot more here. And honestly, you could have quit at this time. That trade ended at 10:30, 10:34 last night. So you could have been done for the day. You wouldn't even have to trade today. You could have hit your goal easy. So right there, you could have hit would have been $1,000 minus your 200, so there's $800 that you could have made. Possibly you could have actually made more if you would have held into it. But if you would have just played the $500 rule, you'd been fine. If not, you could have got in your trade here, and this one, honestly, through here, you probably would not have got out. Maybe you did. Let's just say you did. Say you got out right there. So you got your $500. And then your next entry would have been here. Your stop down here, so you would not have got stopped out. And this one run up to there, so you've got another 300% one possible that you could have done. Then you could have got in again right there. That's the next entry. So there's another 500. So if you would have just played the $500 rule, you would have got your 500 here, 500 there. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5. That's $2,500 less your loss of 200, so you'd be at $2,300. That's if you had played the $500 rule. You might have played less, you might have played more, depends on the trader. But if you would have done this and just set your ATM strategy and then set your stop below, then you would have been fine. So, and sometimes people will go one candle back. So like right here, instead of putting your stop there, they'll go right here. So to give you an idea of what that drawdown would be from there to there is 390. So for me, that's too much. I like to keep it 300 or less is what I like to keep it. But you would have actually hit all of your goals. This one was up until 3 in the morning. So if you're across the pond or something, or maybe you're a night owl, then you would have already gotten all your trades in. Now let's just say that you woke up and you wanted to trade the London session. Well, the London, you would have got this one here, and then you would have got this one, and you would have got that one. This one here, I don't think made the 500. No, but you still would have, maybe broke even or at least made $100 or something. This one here is not really done. You'd probably still be in the trade, to be honest. That's 345. So you might still be in the trade here. I mean, this right here is probably going to go up and go up to your zone here. If it does, we're at 830. If it goes up there, no guarantee it will though. We did make a lower high right here, so that's not real good to go higher, but it may do it. Never know. So that's how the angular worked last night. Now we do have actually one other indicator on here, and that's the zones. I like the zones on my chart whenever I'm trading. I like the zones and the balance and angular. That's the three I trade with now. It's the only three I have on the chart. My zones let me know where my candlesticks support and resistance are. And my balance, which is not on here right now, but we will add it. There we go. So there's our balance, and that's really what I like. Now the balance only works in the London and US session. It's the only place it works. It works very well too. So as you can see here, when we're coming down, we can play to this line. You know, we entered here, we're thinking maybe there, then we're playing to here, then we're playing to there. So once it breaks through, you can bring your stop down according to that. So this $500 one, you could have easily got more out of it. So if you entered there, and let's just say you played to right here, there's 740. And if you play down to this one right here, that's 1280. Once it goes through, you can put your stop up here and let it go. So you'll usually kind of play around, so you put it just above it, like maybe you even had it up here. So if you had it up there, that's 435. So if you had your stop there and just kind of let it go through, but honestly, if your $500 is your goal and you come down here and you can get it pushes through, we close it below it. So more than likely my stop would be there, and I would have been stopped out on this one. I probably wouldn't have got that. But you can always put your stop up a little higher. If you put it to right there, that's $600. So maybe you just put it at the 500 mark. So you put it at the 500, so you're happy getting your 500. And if you get that, fine. If you get more, that's great. So you can put your stop at the 500 mark and then just kind of let it play out. Once it broke through, bring your stop down to here. So then your stop would be here. And then as it goes on down, you just keep on chasing it. Maybe your stop is right there, and it comes down, it kind of pushes through, and then starts coming up. It's still 965. So it's a matter of what you want to do. When you get this one, you're seeing that you have a high here, and you never broke that high, and it started pulling back. That's a sign that it's probably going to keep on coming down. So this was last night's trades. Depends on, I know I've got some people that trade up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Some will trade up to about 4 in the morning. And this is what you would have had. You had good runs last night. Starting to get in a little bit of chop now. I haven't made any trades today. I've not had any. So I won't be live streaming this all day again. If you're wanting to see how it works, yesterday I live streamed for over 6 hours. Had plenty of trades in it. Had the chop. It had, matter of fact, all day yesterday was pretty much chopped the majority of the day. And I think it was 18 $500 trades that it would have gotten. And then there were some that would have gotten like $200-300, and then some were losing, a little bit. Some were break even. So I just took all of that and put it in as a wash. So even the ones you made 200 or 300 on, I didn't even count them. But if you look at the $500 winners, and some of those winners were actually over $2,000 if you'd have played it. But I just counted the 500, and I think it was 17 or 18 winners. So tonight we've got, how many do we get just on this session? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's 6, 7. You've got 7 $500 winner or more. Depends on how you played it, but we're just going to count the $500. So there's $3,500. This one right here, you probably would have made $100 or maybe even 2. Depends on how you played it. So there's 37. Same with here. So we call that one 39. And we had a loss of around 200, so we'll call it 35. So about $3,500 per contract overnight. If you played by the $500 rule. Now, if you went ahead and played it according to the candlesticks or whatever, and just kept on going, you'd have made more money. Every trader's different. Some traders know how to exit down here on the bottom. Some don't. My exit probably would have been right here at the minimum or the maximum stop. But when it got down and hit this zone, I probably would have been looking to put my stop right there. That's probably where I'd been. I wouldn't have allowed that to go back up. So for me, my entries here, my stop is probably going to be, I'd say probably at the max right here, that's 790. Because once this bar closed and this one opened, I'd probably be right here since it's close to that. That's where I'd be. Now, that's not to say I wouldn't get back in it again over here, but that's not the way the angular indicator works. You get in or you wait for the next move. When you try to get in on a second one, you don't know this is going to keep on going. And a lot of times you'll end up giving up this profit here right here that you made over here, and only to be sick about it. Where if you just wait for the next signal, that's the easiest way to do it. Some people's asking about a bot. I may or may not have a bot already. May or may not have. The way it works is you lease the angular indicator. And once you lease it, then you have all the settings and everything that I use. You also get invited to a Discord chat. It's for the Angular users only. We have many Angular users that aren't even in our Discord. I'm not a big fan of the Discord. I prefer to use email to help people, and if I have to, I can always live stream. I'm going to let this run. I'm going to take a little break, so I'm going to step away. So it looks like we just got a short there. I stepped away. I just now walked back in. And if we come down to here, that's going to be looking for, that's going to be looking for our $500 per trade. So it's actually a little bit above right there. So if it comes out and hits the green, then that's going to be the $500 trade. Now you could have got in up there if you wanted, but that was the wrong entry. The only thing we're trying to do is hit our $500 goal. Once you get down in there so far, you bring your break even in. Like this one here, you probably would have just been a break even trade unless you took the higher amount. If you have any questions or anything, you're welcome to ask. So we hit the $500 mark. So we've hit how many of those now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's $4,000, and you would have made a little there, lost there. You put that in gold, meaning a loser. But if you just traded $500 at a time, you're in a good. Okay, I just saw the comment. Sorry, I was chatting with someone. For the last $500 profit was the entry around 12:090. It was 12:080.75. So the entry is the close of the bar with the arrow. So to give you a closer look, the entry is not here; it's at the close. Now you can trade this on bar on each tick and possibly get in quicker. The problem with that is you get some false signals doing that because it will one bar might change from red to orange back and forth. So sometimes I will allow this to be on each tick, but I won't take the entry until the close. Depends on what I see. But this one you could have made up to 765, but our targets are $500 a trade. You hit $500, just get out of the trade. You may make more. Like this one here was 1330, so it's a good trade. So now we just wait on another entry. I'm not sure I'll let this trade all day. I've got things I got to do today. So I won't be here to narrate it for sure. Yesterday I had things to do and I ended up staying here all day. But today I can't. I've got things I got to do. I haven't even traded today. I traded last night. Made enough last night. I don't really need to trade today. If I had been here in time, I would have got in that one because that was definitely a good one. A good way to look at it is we have all the way back here to right there. We barely broke through it, but come down. But we also have a divergence there, lower high. So when we were looking at this, I mentioned this, and since we didn't go up, I said that I thought that that's bad. That's a warning sign that we're going to come down, and we did. And you had a shooting star right there as well. You get a shooting star, then that is a telltale sign that we're coming down. entry would have been right here off a shooting star. You would have entered here and taken on down, but then we have this hammer here. So if I go back to, let's see here, let me find that. And get on NQ. Yeah, that was a shooting star. Let me make it a little bigger. Yeah, this is without the collar bars. That's a shooting star. You got a red close down on the bottom. You got more than 3 times the body up here. Shooting star. Your entry would have been here. So if you're trading candlesticks, your entry would be there. And my exit would have been right there, because there's a hammer here. And the hammer is, I always look back 5 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the low. This one was lower. So I would have taken a long here. And usually when this is scalping. This is not, you're not looking for big moves. You're looking for scalps. I have an indicator that will actually show that. Pull it in here. So if you're looking to trade that, it's called the edge finder. So right there it said down. This does not repaint. So as soon as you see the arrow, you get in. That when it opened here, that arrow appeared. And when this one closed and this arrow appeared, you would have got in right there. Your stop is always below the previous bar. So on this one, you would have had a $200 stop. This one, another 200. So looking 5 points roughly. But that's the way this would have worked out. And on this one, you know, your low volume and stuff, you just want to take little small scalps. So if you can get 5 points every time this does, then you're doing pretty good. There were no signals through here, not for candles. So let's take these out. Because we're not using those. But I do have an indicator. It's called the edge finder. And that, it actually does really good. I'll show you the past. This one right here would have been a loss on this one. A loss right there. It works better when you're in the US session. Been a winner here, a winner there, big winner there. This one would have been a loss. This would have been a winner. But honestly, you would have been in this one. You wouldn't have taken that because you're in that long. And a good winner. This would have been a small loss. Winner, winner. That one right there would have been possible break even or loss. Loss, winner, 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 winner. Loss, loss, winner, loss. That one might have been probably a break even. It's probably what would have been. So we just turned orange on the other one. The orange means to get out. So on these, the red arrow on the close of bars where you go short, when you see the orange, that is reversal um, reversal change in trend, and so you should be getting out at the latest here. What I suggest people to do is you can do candle stop chasing, and you can do it one of two ways. You can either, when one candle closes, it moves to here. So when this one closed, it goes here. When this one closed, it would go here. And just keep on going. The problem with that is sometimes you have these little pullbacks and it will take you out too quick. So in this particular case, you can do a different candle stop chase, and which is usually what I do. But you wait for the bar to close below the previous bar and then it moves down. So in this case, you would have one there. This one never closed below this one, it closed at the bottom, so your stop would stay up here. And you would wait for the next bar to close below the next one. So this is the next bar that closed below there, so your stop would go to here. So it would go from there, come down just a little bit. When this one, that one closed below, so your stop would go to right here. And then this one never closed, this one never, this one never, this one did, so your stop would come to here. So by moving it based on the candle or the bar closing below the previous, it allows more breathing room. That's what it does. So like take this one for instance. Initially we'd put our stop, here. Sometimes it'd be here, depending on what you want. And when this one closed above that, your stop comes to here. If it was down below, it would come to here. This one closed above that. So no, it never either. Yeah, it did too. So your stop would actually be right here. So you would have gotten stopped out right there for a break even if you played the candle. Now me, whenever I see this and it's just going back and forth, I leave my stop down here. That's just what I do. When it's this close, I don't do it. I just wait. And then when we get the first one to close up, which would actually be this one here, we'll close up. Well, actually, that one never. So when this started coming up, my stop would come up to here, which would be basically a break even. I might even bring it up to break even. When it actually pushes up, I'm going to get at least a break even. And because this right here is a lot of accumulation, and what they were doing is pushing it up. When this one closed above this one, that's the first one, my stop would go to here. And then when this starts taking off, every time it closed, I would be bringing my stop up. And the way this was going, when it starts pushing up, when this closed there, I would actually be at the bottom of this candle right here. Because I'm looking to protect at that point. So if this went up to here and then reversed and slammed down like it did here, I want to protect as much profit as I can. So to give you an idea, my entry would be here and my stop would be there. So I'm at 460. We're only trying to get $500. So my stop would be there, and then when this one closed up here, I would be right there, and now I'm at 545. So my stop would be there, and then when this one pushed up and come down, that is not a good sign. So I might even bring my stop up to here or just close that all together. Worst case scenario is I would be right here and I'd get stopped out on this candle. about to oil my chair. You're welcome. Angler does a really good job. I supply all the settings when you lease it that I use. And I have found that the settings I'm using right now are the best settings. And if you just go for $500, yeah, you can get more. And yes, sometimes you get less. But for the most part, 500 is like the magic number. I mean, you can see the chart. I'll even take it back further to like yesterday or something. I've already deleted all the results, but you can see right here, there's 500, 500, almost 500. There is, almost, there is. You had a little bit of chop right in here. You just can, you know, when you start seeing a lot of the lines stack up on top of each other like that. Now, gold to green is one thing, but when you go gold, green, gold, there's showing a lot of chop, and you really just better off to stay out of it. But if you look at this right here, I mean, if you use basic charting skills, you can see that, you know, we're making a downtrend, so it's going to pull back. So when you start getting up, you know, you would have entered right here, of course, because you're far away from that. But you'll be looking to maybe take profit wrong through there. So as long as you can get close to your $500, take it. So like right there is 430. Right here would be 240. I mean, the worst case scenario is you make 240. That's still a good trade, $240. Just use basic charting skills. You know, when you're looking at this, and just go back and see what trend that we're playing. You know, we hit here, we come down. We don't know that this is not going to keep coming down. But when it reversed, we're thinking that we're probably going up to here or thereabout. So on this one, your entry would be there. The most you could have got was 250. But when this pushes up, you know, just have your stop up here to break even. So maybe you don't make any money here, but you at least get a break even to where you don't lose. And, you know, if you wanted, you know, if this starts going through here, maybe you just go ahead and take your profit. When this pulled back, you would actually be stopped out right in here. You wouldn't even have the opportunity to get that. Well, actually, I guess you would, because you have another entry. So there's another entry here. But where this one never made it, maybe or maybe not you take this one. If you do, keep your stop tight. And when it pushes up, and then now you have this trend. So you're going to draw this trend out to say right here, because you're going to get the top of this one, and then right here, that would be your trend. And you got real close to it here. So when this pulled back, that would be a good entry to take a short. And the most you could have got was 810. So, you know, if you're looking for your $500 trade, you know, you would have got it. And then when this come down and start going sideways, would I take this long? Yes, I would. And the reason I would is because we have our trend up here. So I'm thinking this is going to go from here back up to there, possibly through, or hit it and pull back. So on this one, we would enter here. Right there is 345, and it started pulling back. I'd be having my stop coming close. You know, once it gets up here close to this balance, you know, we know that, you know, there's an opportunity for it to reverse again. Would I take this one? Yeah, because we bounced off of that, but we still haven't hit our trend. So I'm looking to go right here. We don't hit it. But, you know, when this goes up and opens there, then it pulls down. And I remember this trade. It went up and pulled down real fast. So my stop would be right there off the bottom of this. Worst case scenario, underneath this candle here, this bar. So there's $235 that I could have made. I'll take it. You're not going to get 500 every time. You still have to manage those stops to get where you want to be and make the most of this. We go on back. So I'm not cherry picking at all. I mean, this is just showing everything that we had yesterday. Yesterday, I think there was like 18 or 19 $500 moves from 3 o'clock in the morning on. So it's a London and the other. So going back, we had yesterday's stream, so let's just go back a little further. Let's see here. Let me go to different day. Let's go back 5 days. I don't like to go too far because it bogs down the system. So when we get done, I'll switch it back to 1 day. So I'm just gonna take back to say this one here. I don't even know what day that is. So I usually like to trade 6 to 9. That's just my place I like to trade. So 6 o'clock is about right here. So I would have missed this trade, but you can see this got the $500 on both of those. You know, there's $2,000. Right here is almost 2,000. Right here is 1330. If you would have got in here, you might have lost a trade or two here. You might have. But where this is double topping right here, I would be looking to go short only. I would not have taken this long because, you know, that is showing our support. You got to use some basic trading skills, guys. You can't just lease an indicator and think that you're going to be, you know, making all this money. You still have to look and see what's going on. And as long as you just kind of follow the basic trends, I mean, right here's a channel, you know. We're looking, actually, let's do this one. We're looking right there. That's our chop zone. You know, we've got this high to here. When we pulled back and then went up and we didn't break and we pulled back, from here to here is now our chop zone. You know, that's what we're looking at. So maybe you don't enter right there. Maybe you wait to enter right here. So if you entered right there, oops, you still would have got your money. So we close below, you're still going to get your $500. So when you see this, just go ahead and, you know, wait until it comes out and closes below. And when it closes below, get in on the opening of this candle and then come down. Put your stop right above here, right above that candle. Because if it comes back up in there, it's probably going to keep coming. Because a lot of times when this comes through and closes below, it will reverse and take off on you because they're getting all the stops. That's what they're trying to do. So you've had 3 trades here. I mean, this is going from 3 a.m. would be right here. So if you traded 3 a.m., let's just do it per thing here. There's a 500. You would have got a few hundred out of that. You got some chopping here. You probably would have taken this one, and you may or may not have, you know, made money there. This would have been a good trade in my opinion. This one where it failed, I would have entered right here and I would have lost money on that. So that one would have been a loser. This one right here where it pulled back, I would be looking to go ahead and go short. Here is a perfect example of you have a chop zone right here and it went through, closed below, and then it ran up. That's a perfect example of what we talked about over here. You're going to have some failed trades. It's going to happen. The main thing is to make sure you don't have 10 of them in a row. This one right here is the perfect example of the chop. Would I have entered right here? No. I would have waited. This went up. When we pull back in, would I have entered here? Yes, I would have. So when this pulled back and didn't drop down, I would have entered there. My stop would have been probably about right there, so I would not have got stopped out. And if I did get stopped out, let's just say I had it at the bottom of the candle, I lost 210, then I would immediately get back in this one and take it on up. So this was all accumulation to run. That's what it was. So you got to use some basic charting skills. You're not just going to go red and green and make all kinds of money. For the most part, you will, but there's going to be times that you get into this chop, and if you don't know how to play this chop, just wait. As soon as this one comes up, wait on the next move. Maybe you got in this one right here. If you got in short there and it come down, you put your break even in. Maybe you did lose a little bit right there. Because you thought it was going to go down. You could have made $200. And then once it didn't go anywhere, our trend is long. But even right here, we have this and up. Maybe you don't take that one because we have an uptrend. We broke through this zone. So by breaking through, we're coming back and retesting and to go higher. And that's what we're doing. So let's go back over here. It's got a long signal now. So should you take that trade right there? Well, I guess only you can answer that. I'm not trading this morning. I'm already done. But by looking at this, we've got our balance that's coming up here for the U.S. Open. It really doesn't look like a bad trade to me. Right there on that TP3, it's not good though. A lot of times you get a lot of chop right there. But all in all, I think that's probably a good trade. You had this long here, it didn't do it, then we got another one. So more than likely that probably is a good long signal. Won't know until it closes out though. Now the way I have my indicator set up for the balance is you have these red lines are for the London session, and the balance for the London session, it's down here, is right here. So if you're above the balance, that's long bias. If you're below the balance, that's short bias. Now, this is to let you know that the US Open balance is going to be right here. But you don't trade that until you're done with London. The only thing this is, I allow this to pop up early so that you can see kind of what the bias is for the US session to let you know how to prepare to trade. The red lines will not appear until 9:30 Eastern time. I would say that more than likely this will probably, because we hit our support right here, and this is almost like a W. So we're probably going to go back up and retest this to see what was the high for. Yeah, that's the high. That's the high of the day right there. So we're probably going to come back up into this area. It may be into the U.S. session because we're already at 9 o'clock, 9:15. A lot of times this will go up and test that balance at the open. That balance is 114.75. Not looking good right now. If you're in that trade, you make sure you keep a tight stop. We may come back down to this zone again. We may come down and bounce again. Our trend is going down. So we're right on it. Real close to that. Be nice to see it break out, but we got this descending triangle coming in right now. Everybody know what a descending triangle is? Right there. That is a bullish move. May come back down again before it comes out. It may shoot up right here. Usually the last 20% is where it'll do. So if you divided this into 5, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, So you're in the last 20% of it. See there, no, we just turned green. So my opinion is this is going to break out right here. That's just my opinion. It may not. So to give you an idea of where your $500 target is, it's going to be about right here. Right there. So really it's about the TP4. The TP4 would be 525. If you got in off of this one, it would actually be just a little bit lower. Right there. So you're looking at 12,101.75 would be our $500 target. It needs to break out of this trend. That descending triangle is a bullish pattern, but sometimes it will drop out and then run. So you got to be careful with it. If we can break over this right here, then we're good to go. I think. You never know. And I think that we're probably looking to maybe retest our pre-market high, which is a London high. Volume's starting to come in. 9:28, so we got 2 minutes left. So we're going to come down and retest this again. And when we retest this, it will probably make a move for the upside. So this right here is your chop. You had 3 long entries right there. I usually try not to trade between 9:15, 9:30. I usually try not to. Depends on, now if it's a good move, it's moving like this, I'll trade it. But when you start getting a lot of chop in there, you're better off to stay out. Anybody else have this problem? See how I have my double right here? Double arrows. I can't move that. The only way I can fix it is to make a new window. So right now we're looking to break out of this. It's funny, I have another chart open and it's the same time period and everything, but yet my signals are different. So right there I would not take a short, only because I'm looking at this right here. It may be a good short though, but I would just I'd be concerned. We're at the open now, so the market has opened, but I think that's probably going to revisit the other way. So right there, if I was in a short, my stop would be down there. See there how it's bouncing? So that long is one I would have definitely been in. I actually am in that trade. I just went one contract, and then I stopped out right there. I have my stop right there, so easy $500 that it ended up making. The market is trying to push up. So I did get in that trade, and I've got my stop right at the bottom of that current candle. I took out right there because I think it'll come back and retest. So that put me up. That was about $800 on that trade. I don't show my live trades on there because of SEC and everything else. I'm just not going to do it. To me, rules and guidelines. I don't want to get in trouble. I know a lot of traders have live traded on YouTube and they've gotten in trouble. I can show this and not be in trouble. So see, we're going up here is where I was talking about going. So if we put a line right there, that's where I'm thinking we may go up and retest that pre-market high. And as you can see, the balance has already put out the new signals, and the first one's right here. Now the smart thing to do, I thought this would come back and retest that balance. That's usually what it does. It may do it right here. Now it's going to push. So that would have been a very nice long entry. Up to right there is 1855. Right here is 515. So you got your 500 there. You got your 500 here. Let you know where some of the things are. Right there's your balance. Sometimes I forget to use this chart. I've got another chart open I trade from. So what I would be looking for now is to come back to the balance. When it comes back to there, then I would be looking to take a long entry. I would not be taking a short. If it pops up a short here, I will not be taking it because we are kind of long bias. Now, we may miss that short. That's fine. But I think it's going to come back to the balance and then bounce and go long. So I would not take that long right there. It may be a good long, but I think it's going to come back to the balance. That's why it's good to have levels on your chart. See how we're getting, you know, orange, green, back and forth. That's chop. You don't trade chop. This will probably come right down here, maybe even to here, because you got all this right here. It may come right back down to here and then probably up. But I'm not looking to go short or long until we come down and retest this. right now, this big run, they're selling off all their and taking profit. They're not shorting, they're just taking profit. They took a bunch right here, right off the top of that. Took a bunch there, and it come down. Then they stopped, allowing people to come in here and buy. All the retail's buying right here. And then they will go ahead and probably tank this down to here. May double top and then come down. I don't know. But I'm not willing to play right here. I'm out of the game. I wasn't even going to trade this morning, but I thought that's good setups right there. So I took 2 trades, just boom, boom. So I hope you guys have learned some things. Possibly maybe you made some money today off of this. I'm not going to do this every day. I'm just showing you how it works. Probably won't do it tomorrow. I just like to show how things work on it. And a lot of people say, I want to see it live. Well, there's 6 hours yesterday live and then today live. I'm sitting here watching my hummingbirds out my office window. I got a hummingbird feeder I put right at my window just so I could watch the hummingbirds. I've got gray ones, blue ones, red ones, and white ones that come here all the time. I really enjoy watching them. We got bird feeders outside. A lot of cardinals here. I'm in Ohio right now. I got a house in Ohio and a house in South Carolina. I just travel back and forth. My wife is down there. Now that right there is a good short, actually. I think. And playing it down to the balance. In my opinion, that would be a good short. Nope. Bulls are coming in. I'd stay out right now. I thought that short would bring it right down to the balance, but it never. The bulls are really pushing it. Double topping it right there. That's that pre-market high right there that they're trying to push over. If they push over, it's going to run. Too much chopping here for me to trade. All right, so we broke through the zone. And that is barely over the last one. So we are like a few ticks over it. Still not sold that it's going to push through here. So as it turns out, if you would have entered a trade right there, which I did not, you've been well over your $500 because you would not have been stopped out. So that was actually a good trade. Not one that I recommended. I like to see it come down and retest that balance. That's what I'd like to see. Retest that balance and then we can go long for the day. Get there and hit that balance. Now I would have entered that trade there, and my target would be the balance. Come on down to the balance. Come on. We closed down. Well, they didn't do it. They may be accumulating to go long here. I still think we're going to come down to that balance. I'm going to stream for about 15 more minutes and I'm going to call it a day. I got things to do. So just in those couple little trades, I made an extra $1,368.48. Let's see if I can hide my. I can't do it. So that's an extra $1,300 I made just off trading. I trade one here, and then I traded this right here, and I traded this one here. I picked up a little bit there, not much. I had a tight stop because of what we were doing. But I did take this trade here. I actually took the trade from up here. I didn't wait on the indicator. I took it from up here. And the reason I did is because of, where we went up. I saw that we weren't going up, so I just went ahead and entered it. This one coming down, I believe that we will probably come down to at least the balance. And if you would have traded that to the balance is 640. I took 2 contracts here and picked up some money there. It was just a fast scalp. So $500 would put you right here. So you almost got it right there. So, I mean, if you're down that close, I'd have my stop down there close. I wouldn't wait on $5 or $10. There you got it. So now you got your 500 here. And the way it pulled back is if you missed it, when it pulled back, you got back in. There's a shooting star right there. That's a very bar. This right here is, I don't know if that is. Turn off the color bars. Yeah, that's a hammer right here. So that's a good possibility. It's probably going to push up. Good possibility. So I would be out of the trade right here. It's more than likely going to go there, but why take the chance? Take your money and go. You got too many bullish candles here. So we come down to the balance here. We're probably going to go long. So it may come down and retest that balance, but more than likely it's probably just going to bounce and go. Got my hummingbird out there. I got a redneck one out right now. Nothing wrong with the redneck.